And let's get to it. This is Jupiter, Fifth Planet Keyforge from Manlius, New York, as always, coming at you with the Crazy Killing Machine Network, KFPL. And I have with me my esteemed co host. He doesn't
Hey,
get
hey,
it.
it's me, Big Z. I thought you were gonna say my name. I think you said it last time.
Yeah, sometimes I
So here
do.
we are.
Sometimes I
It's
do.
Sunday.
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. This is the KFPL Weekly. This is something we're going to do every week, and the idea here is that we're going to be able to give you some of the highlights and the things that we've seen going on in the administrative side of the KeyForge Premier League Network, and we're going to get you guys in the next week's pairings, and we're going to have a segment that we call right now. We're going to call Tracker Talk, and what it is going to be is we're going to kind of teach you how to use the Crucible Tracker in a way that might help you like learn some things or get into the things that you need to get to as far as like the information extraction and like what you can get out of it. This week's basically we're just highlighting like a really awesome end of game sequence that happened in the league. So sit back for that and let's do that. So um, it's going to be fun. And Z, like, what did you think of the first week?
I was super impressed with all the games that were happening. Lots of excitement. Talk about the games. I was talking to Sheep from SAS/AC, and he mentioned tuning into a game to watch, and that's not normally a thing that he does. And he also referenced like the feel of going from season 1 to season 2 has been quite a different experience. From his perspective, it was a positive thing. People seem to be super involved, practicing games, getting reps in, talking about their matches.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like this is exactly what our goal is here at the KFPL, to offer a um, additional organized play option during this COVID era, and
Mm-hmm.
we all know it's going to be a bit till live play returns. We're all very hopeful and excited when it does, but we're going to be here to offer our services the best we can, and we're going to continue to get better at it. And I think that's what we're seeing from season 1 to season 2 so far.
I mean, yeah, I feel like when I first started the KFPL way back when as a college project, like my goal was like to figure out how I could make a professional, like worldwide online scene, right? Like I wanted it to basically be like, let's get out of our pawns and our metas and see it like on a grander stage, right? Like it's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
and then Shadow Worlds got put together, and that was that was the first like real super international thing. Thought it was pretty good. Like overall, I was sad I didn't get to play in it, but we had a bit of a scheduling conflict, so I couldn't do it. But like after that, like I just wanted to see more of that. Like I wanted to see more of that international gameplay and the international meta because I think a lot of people get put in their little pawns and they think, oh wow, I'm doing great, this is amazing. But then when they go to like a vault tour or something, or they get really involved in like the bigger scenes, like everything changes, right? Like it becomes a way different kind of thing. And I think that like even though it's not ideal to play on TCO, like as far as like getting the reps in person, I think it still has a value in the idea that the knowledge and the lines and things that you think of now are probably more broad than they would have been if we didn't do something like this and it was just casual play on TCO the whole time we were in COVID. So hopefully we're keeping those brains working and we're keeping people and looking at new things and new ways and like kind of getting out of their comfort zone. So I think we've been pretty successful. Like this has grown exponentially every bit of the way. Like we just keep getting bigger and bigger and better and better, and it's mostly because you guys are feeding us with your energy and your contribution and your play. So like just coming and enjoying the games and stuff like that makes us want to do more for you. So thank you. Without you, we wouldn't be who we are. We wouldn't be where we are. So that's my plug for that. And you got anything you want to add to that, Z, before we get to business?
No, it's just been a great experience. People are playing in our events, making their way into the league, earning their slots, and we're going to keep seeing some great games, great people, great community.
Spe-
But yeah, let's kick it on to why everyone's here.
yeah. So where's my? This is supposed to be display capture. Went blank. We're still here. We're just doing the dark feel here.
Oh no,
Yeah.
it's dark tidings is coming. No, 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 not today though, not today.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Why is it doing this to me now? This is being a jackass to me.
Pardon us while we have minor Jupiter difficulties. I mean
Jupiter.
technical.
Yeah, Jupiter. There's always something I gotta mess up. Like I can't be perfect every
It's
time. Okay, so I had to redo my screen for some reason, like weird, and yay. All right, let's see.
Yeah,
Boom.
and we definitely all are looking forward to that. Know that it's been a big gap. My wife and son played Keyforge with me in mini vaults, and they don't really do the online thing, so they will both be raring to go when live play does come back because they do love the game. But TCO is not for them.
Okay, so I have fixed it and we're ready to go now for real, I think. We'll see what happens. But here we are. We're at the group roundup and pairings stage. So what we'll do is we're going to do a quick review of each of the groups, and the people that are highlighted are the people who won this week. So in Group A, we saw Unarmed Goat, Grant Titus, and Jay Power all take down the victories over Future Beat, X-Ray Creator, and Just a Guy Playing. Jay Power and Just a Guy Playing was one of the features that we ran that me and Z got to look at.
Yep.
It was what it was. Jason dominated with his Heart of the Forest deck, like we knew, like I had a feeling would happen, and then Just a Guy Playing did all he could to try to make it happen. But like, man, like sometimes when you're beat by that deck, you just don't know you're beat by that deck. Like,
It was a total Kip versus Sass win for Kip. So good job, Kip.
Yeah.
I know that's like my team, right? But hey, kudos to you guys. Y'all definitely showed why you are here
Yep.
in the KFPL season 2, and Sass will be trying to earn their spots through other matches.
Yeah, so like with that said, let's look at the what we're going to do is we're going to stay in group. Oop, sorry, I'm jumping too fast. Basically,
What?
I'm just like trying to learn how to navigate this. Hey, Group A matchups for this week are going to be Just a Guy Playing gets the bye after getting Heart of the Forest ripped out of him. X-Ray Creator is going to be up against Jay. Grant will be up against Unarmed Goat, and Ewok Jr. making his debut against the Lone Legume, Future Beans. So, you excited about
Ewok's
it?
tag fell off, but that is an AC versus AC match
Oh
for what
yeah,
it's worth.
yeah, it is AC versus AC. His tag did fall off. That's my fault. Sorry. Lots of cut and paste gets old.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. So yeah, so any of these matches gonna stick out to you? Like anything that you're interested in
Well,
here?
we have X-Ray has the equivalent of a pretty hard starting strength of schedule in football. You go Titus and then Jay Power here, so that's Kip 2 weeks in a row pulling the Kip. Well, good thing is after week 2, he won't have to play any more Kip people until the top cut if he's there.
Yep.
So yeah. What else we got here? Grant Tyson and Goat. But yeah, well, that's I'm excited for the local AC boy. Not that they're local, but the AC matchup. I don't think we'll get to see it unless another caster picks it up for us, which we had a lot of support in that this last week. Heck, maybe Sheep's not in this group. Maybe he'll want to do it just because it's AC. I'll reach out to him and see.
Yeah, we'll see. We have 4 featured matches that we'll tell you at the end of the stream, this part of the this segment. So, just stick by. We'll tell you who those people are. We're trying to make it as diverse as possible because we don't want to show people the same people. But the good news is with Screech Babam and the Call of the Week guys, and we have Rob 1K from Can't Touch This, and we have the Void from the Exalted, and we have Vince T. UK, which is not Tuck, which Vince Tuck is part of Screech Babam. I always get those two like homogenized, I guess, but I don't even know if that's the right word, but whatever. I basically put those two as the same
Definitely not
person. Yeah,
the right
probably
word.
not. Yeah, it's not milk, I know. But either way, I blend those two together all the time. But we have lots of people stepping up to do extra stuff, and then you always have the Team GG, Leo Lindsay and his group of guys that are doing it on the Italian channel. So there's all kinds of things. Matt Tuck and Vince T. Yeah. I got
all
it.
right.
I'm all confused. You guys got me.
What happened in Group B this week?
So Group B, we had a split on the rows here, Dave. So you couldn't win everything. You didn't do the full Monty on this one, but we had Corey Than win over Xander for the win, and we had Flaming Hobo making his debut against Shaka, and Shaka showing him, hey, experience matters a little bit. And then Frozen Tauntaun took a loss to Rodion. And Rodion was kicking off some rust in his game. He said he said he wasn't playing as well as he wants to be playing, but he said he will be ready for this week.
Well, Rodion's playing basically all borrowed stuff, right? So that's a lot of stuff, a lot of reps to try to get in for an event at this level.
Hmm.
I mean, it makes it most people are borrowing some stuff, but I think most of the field is at least playing one, maybe two decks that are theirs or they have a ton of reps on already.
Hmm.
Rodion's in a different situation where his entire line, I think, is not his.
Yeah, it's all
So
mine.
that means like that's three decks you have to get as many reps as you can as soon as possible in a triad format,
Hmm.
which triad practice is not exactly the same as just going and grinding in the TCO.
No,
So
it's
that's
all
a different challenge to get valid practice.
Yeah, it's all about matchups, right? And for all you people that
Yeah.
want to know more about the triad, Aurora relinked an old article that she wrote about like how she breaks up the triad and making
Hmm.
making things for it, and I pinned that in the general chat of our Discord for people to go check out. So shout out to Time Shapers for that. I thought it was a really good article as well, and I agreed with like everything that was written. So I figured it would be a good thing to put up there since we're in triad season and a lot of people have
Hmm.
been asking me questions about triad. And triad is really the simple way to describe triad is that your worst deck has to win. Like
Yeah.
that's the very
And
bone
then, and then
marrow.
on the other, like on the other perspective, it's all about just beating your opponent's worst deck. Like that
Right.
is what is going to lead to the most wins. All
Yeah.
right,
All right.
what's
So
going
moving
on
on.
this week for Group B?
So Group B this week we have Rodion on bye, so he has time to get warmed up. So this is good for us as far as I
Yeah,
think.
get some
It
reps.
gives him get some reps in on the server there. But we see Corey Than is going to be against Aviator. That will be an interesting match. Flaming Hobo is going to kick the dust off against Xander for the win, hopefully, and Frozen Tauntaun versus Shaka. So. Um, anything? What sticks out to you most here out of this?
I'm excited of seeing Corythan versus Aviator. Both are coming back from season one. I believe both
Yep.
are very active in the ABR.
Hmm.
Obviously, Nathan's on my team. I get to play with against Aviator as a opposing team captain in the ABR. So I think that's a super fun matchup. I will definitely be interested in seeing the result and hopefully getting to see it.
Yeah, definitely good. So we'll see what happens with what happens here. So let's move to Group C. We'll keep this tucking along because there is a final swindle event coming up at 1400, which I will be live streaming on my own. I'm gonna have to put a delay on, so I'll have to take a break. But if you haven't signed up, there's still time, so go check them out. If anybody out there has the link for it, shoot it up there. They still got 45 minutes. It's basically 275 SAS cap for 4 decks, so it's pretty gonna be interesting. But here we go. So Group C, this is Dave comes up on top, beats Vaps in a
Mm-hmm.
fun game, and threw Vaps for a curveball. I'll say that because he banned Inca instead of Paralysis, and I don't think Vaps was quite ready for that at the time, but he's learning about Triad, so it's all good. And then Dr. Sheep lost to Ugluk, the Mad Lad, and the other Mad Lad, Sad Crybear, took down Sydney Steele.
So both Mad Lads won the week. So yeah, are keeping up with their reputation here. And yes, Ugluk completes the complete SAS sweep for the week. So
Yeah.
Kip 3, SAS 0. GG.
GG. That's not so genuine there. I say GG. Good job, Kip. Way to go. You guys have some of my favorite people. So, here we go. So I say that about everybody though, so I don't know how much that means. But so next week, Steele is on the bye as she gets some time to work with her decks more. Dave will be playing against Andrew, 1-star peeps. So that's a reap out on reap out fight here. So that's going to be a tough one. And Vaths is going to be up against Dr. Sheep and Sad Crybear and Ugluk. That is the Mad
There it is.
Lad.
The Mad Lad matchup. Here we
The
are.
Mad Lads. If you had to guess a feature match for this week, I would guess that one.
Yes, it's gonna happen. We're gonna make it
I'm
happen.
gonna give you a spoiler. That is the number one feature match of the week. So, but the Mad Lab matchup is going to be spicy, and we have to have it just because. Like this is for dominance and who carries the Mad Lad title. Matter is that? Yeah, that's what it is. All right, so here we go. So we're moving on to Group D and the results for this week. George versus Zeramis. Zeramis was able to take the win after being nervous about being in the league. He starts off pretty good, and then we see Jay Philippeg, Portuguese Power 2-0 over Leo Lindsay. Relevant because Kidman X also won over Kjorns. So Portuguese 4, everybody else 0 against the Portuguese house. So kudos to my chops. We're doing great. Like, good job. I'm very excited about my Portuguese representation here. Yeah. So anything that stuck out from this that you saw?
I was excited to get to see the Currents versus Kidman X. I've seen both of them play. Obviously, they did well in the events that we've run, but my familiarity is probably lower with this group than a lot of the other groups. So I was happy to get to see that. Looking forward to see who shines the most out of this. And yeah, there's like kind of a little bit of wanting Zeramis to come out, knowing that Zeramis is a little bit hesitant about confidence in the league, and there's a little bit of that going around in different pockets. But when it comes down to it, like, just play your best, win some games, and you're gonna get the value out of that. That is fairly high in my opinion.
Well, here's the pep top roll of the week, right? If you watch Kidman X's game versus Kjorns' deck average for SAS was 85, and Kidman played a 78 and a 73 after ban. So, and he won both, but like he won his game. So like it happens. Like you just have to outplay people sometimes and just have confidence in your skill. You're here for a reason. Like nobody in the league got here on any kind of like technicality at this point. Like for the most part.
Yeah,
Like,
my boy Ewok from AC said he would, like, said on our cast last week, he would be happy if he ends the season with one win. Because he's so happy just to be in the league, getting to play with the people he's playing against. And I was like, bro, you're definitely good enough to get way more wins than that. Just play the cards, choose the bands, and play some Keyforge.
I'm gonna tell you this: in season 1, I think some people didn't necessarily take it like as they didn't think of it as being super hyper competitive, and then like people like Corey Than got handed to him last season in Group A, and I think that was like a motivating factor for him this season. So I could see him coming very focused this season. I don't know how it has been on your training side, but like. He's one of the guys.
Yeah, because he got knocked out. Like, he's won 2 vaults in the real. Like, he got knocked out, didn't make top 60 in season 1, and had to earn a spot back. So yeah, he's super motivated to get these dubs.
Yeah, so
we'll see.
Yeah, so like moving on, so you guys can see what is going to happen for you this week in Group D. Kjorns gets a reprieve and gets the bye. George will be playing against Ariak. From Beerforge, Jay Philippeg will be playing against Zaramis, sorry, so that'll be a fun match. I think those two are familiar with each other. And then Kidman X DX will be playing against Leo Lindsay. So Leo had Jay in the first round, and now he gets another dose of Portuguese power. Let's go, baby! Like, guys, keep doing well. Like, I'm there for you. I got more flag waving to do still, so let's do it.
Yeah.
My guys. So moving on to Group E. Group E, Easy Galina with the bye this week, and Echo Ito was able to edge out Mirton VGC. That was a good game from what I saw on the tracker. I didn't get to see it, but Erie Daly lost to Lorenzo 99. To me, that was like. It was interesting. It was Lorenzo like putting his foot down as like, "Yo, I'm that other Hamburg guy that you don't talk about. He's been here before and he's doing it again." So kudos.
It's like the Atlantean Bowl right here, though. Like this whole group.
Yeah,
but
and then
surprisingly, though,
Kiwi
Atlanteans lost this week, right?
Right. Kiwi lost to Lapore, the pair, the guy I picked to win this bracket. I've seen him play.
Really?
Yes,
I did not pick the pair to win this bracket.
Yeah, he's great. He's great. Like I trust AFK. What I've seen of them, they're great guys. I talk to them a lot, and being that they only have 2 people in, I think it was 2 people in the event, I know the decks they were bringing were going to be super solid, and I know they play super solid Keyforge. So.
Yeah, Kiwi's going to want redemption here. He is the Highlander. He's got to, represent. You don't want to be like one of those football teams that wins a Super Bowl and then doesn't make the playoffs, right? Like, that would be pretty rough. So I know he is also super motivated to get redemption here.
Yeah, he likes to win.
Uh,
He likes to win, but Triad is one of his least favorite formats. So like,
oh,
he's
didn't know
here.
that.
Yes, it is. So, he mentioned that in the aftercast. If you haven't checked it out, go check out Screech Bomb
Hmm.
and Muffins as they did. I forgot what they called themselves. It was something like Bomb Owls or something crazy. Callum, what was the name? But there was a crazy name they made up for all the people that do things with muffins or whatever. There's like cross people, Screech Owls. There you go. So the Screech Owls, they all have like a weird like J Lo like Affleck kind of name, like I don't know, whatever.
Okay.
They're just messing their names all together, and they had a really good like going out with Lepore and Kiwi, and Kiwi mentioned that he just doesn't. He's not a big fan of Triad, and having so many Atlanteans was kind of a hindrance. And I was like, go figure.
Which I was saying, like I said early on, I think after they hit 3 or 4, it's like the more people they get in this, the rougher your pool gets stretched. Because like SAS definitely felt that for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
so for destroying the Highlander in Group E, Lepore gets the bye. It just worked out that way, honestly. Like we
yeah,
didn't do that
yeah.
on purpose. So
We just go down the list. Who's next?
the Lone Ranger Easy Gallerina is up against Echo Ito in an Italian
Showdown.
Civil War, and Erie Daly is going to be up against Burton VGC as he looks to make his mark on the league. I know he didn't like losing last week, and then Lorenzo has a
Both of those
chance.
will be looking for their first win, so
Yeah,
that someone will get on the board there.
yeah, and then Lorenzo gets a chance to say, "Yo, remember me?" To Kiwi this week. So I'm actually kind of excited to see what happens here.
That will be an exciting one because Kiwi's looking, obviously to get on the board here. Lorenzo wants to keep winning,
Yeah,
so
he came off a hot one with Erie too. Erie's like I said, like was one of my like most.
that's a tough pull for Zoe, right? Like two of his teammates in a row, like
He's had
that's not.
he's had a tough ride in the league period because he was in with him, his brother, and Erie last season, if I remember correctly. So like he's always had to fight his own people. Like and maybe this season he's like you know what, he put the extra work in. He's like trying to just be like yo, I'm
But
about
after this week, at least he's free and clear. Like he will
yeah
not
yeah
face anyone else until later
yeah.
if he makes. So
It has to
getting it
happen.
done up front, yeah.
Yeah, it has to happen. All right, so here's the Group F. This is the one that I think most people don't know that many people about, but we had some good
Hmm.
coverage of it, so maybe you could learn. Um, Callum SLZ versus Zaire, and Zaire takes the loss there as Callum comes out, the good doctor. Mental over Tuck, so we see a split for the Screech Bomb guys, and
Hmm.
then we had Shreds from the Atlanteans taking down Seb. So Atlantean asserting dominance early. Um,
Yeah, one on the board over here. No other Atlanteans are in this bracket, so Shreds is definitely the entire Atlanteans' favorite to come out of here. I'm sure.
yeah, Dave,
Um,
Dave, you did bet on the Callum side, so you did win this one too. Even though I don't like telling you that. I'm pretty sure you bet on Callum's side. But anyway, so like this was an interesting results for me. But like this is the group I probably have the least familiarity with play level, other than Callum. I know Callum plays really well, and I've got to see Tuck play, and like those guys are always like right at the fringe of qualifying. So it was really nice to see them get in at the end there. But they all play very solid. Obviously, if you listen to their commentary, you would know this. Like they know what they're talking about. So if you haven't,
yeah,
go check it out. So that's a
this is another group that's high on my list just to get more familiar with over time, especially Zaire, because I believe Zaire qualified from season one.
right.
And I don't think Zaire's played in many of our events, so I've probably seen Zaire play less games than anyone else in the entire event.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah. And last season he just played Azawon like all the time, and I'm guessing he's not gonna get to play that deck at all. So like I don't know, like
yeah. So I'm excited to learn more about this group for sure.
Zaire. Yeah, yeah. So we'll be
But
featuring
let's
them.
see who they're playing.
Okay, so now we're moving to Reds as being an Atlantean and asserting his dominance gets the bye, so he doesn't scare the people this week and lets
Mhm.
people grow some confidence before he shreds them. And then Callum gets to play against Armataka, another Final Swindle person from the Sweden. And then we have Mental versus Zaire, and then we have Seb versus Tuck. So Matt Tuck, not Vince Tuck. Matt Tuck is
Right.
going to be up against another countryman again. Like there's a lot of British people here, and like I think the British people have the most stress because everybody wants them like they're like they have a really big community and very tight knit community with lots of people, and it's kind of like the Italians and the Germans. They all have their things, but like they feel like they have to do something this season. So it's like to put their name on the board, and it's interesting, and I wonder how much that stress affects them, but
I
probably a
really want to
lot.
see the Callum. It's not this week. I want to see the Callum versus Tech match. Like that has got to get
Yeah.
aired
Yeah.
with live cast because that is something I'm super excited to see.
I heard you have some sway with that, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna
Yeah, yeah.
happen.
My 50% vote in this. Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
So all right, we're moving on. Team to Group G. This was we didn't get to see Raider play this week. He had a bye, and he's a guy I'm really excited to watch play, as he is a really strong player as well, coming from the Beer Forge side of the house. Then you see that Dammit, the runner-up from last season, took down Vince T. And then John Lang from the Atlanteans again had to take down another Atlantean with Vincenzo. And John Lang is the new Atlantean on the block, where Vincenzo was here last season. So that's interesting. So that was a interesting result. And then we have PM Canassa and Sodafly, and I will spoil this for you guys. This had the play of the week in it, and this is the thing that this game we're gonna talk about the game 3 last 2 turns of the game in the tracker segment that we're gonna do because it was pretty gnarly in my opinion. I don't know.
yeah, pretty fun stuff.
So we'll talk about that very soon. For Group G, you see Sodafly gets that bye after having a remarkable last turn in his game this week. Gets some time to let it fill him with joy. And then you have Dammit 96 versus Radar, which is going to be a heck of a good game when you have the runner-up from last season against the new hotness. And then you have John Lang versus Vince T, and Canassa gets to try his hand at Vincenzo. So this is a really good
Yeah.
group. Has a lot of really good players in it. So it's going to be interesting. Like I could say that about every group though. Like
The Atlanteans finally get a bucket where they could have a double win in, so that's always fun, exciting for a team to like, hey, we don't have to face each other, no one's on bye. Yeah, so that could be a good week for them.
I don't know. How does that feel, Kip?
Okay.
Sorry, had to take it. So for Group H, we had basically Alex Sheplev with the bye, which I know that was sad. I know he wants to get into it. And then we had a sweep on the right side
Yeah, we did.
as Pac, Gorbelly, and Fireza take down Anxious Pirate, Andy Ming from last season, Anxious Pirate from last season, and D-Champ. But to be fair, Gorbelly and Fierza are both from last season as well. This is a loaded group. Lots of really
Yeah.
good players, lots of incredible decks. So, yeah.
My boy Alex is not too excited for being in this bucket, but he's not going to let that get him down. He's excited to play some games.
Hey, like he's a good player, so he's gonna be fun.
Like he came out like when he passed the buy. I was like, no, I don't want the buy. I want to fight.
Yeah. Harlan wants Oreos. You gotta wait, buddy. So D-Champ gets the bye this week, and then we see that Pac is going to get his hands on Alex Sheplev, so he's gonna get what he wanted. He's gonna get right into it. Pac is like on my team, like he's a new face and stuff, but like he's really good. Like he's a great player, and very creative. So that's gonna be an interesting match to me. Anxious Pirate.
The chat is saying there is a vote for Pirate here. So Andrew64 is calling out Pirate over Firesa. I think Dave probably disagrees with that assessment.
Yeah, I would say so. Like Fierza was the fourth place finisher last season, going against Anxious Pirate, who did top 16, right? So he still did
Yes.
something. And then we have Andy Ming versus Gorbelly. So for the Anxious Pirate, Andy Ming, Fierza, Gorbelly pairing, those are all people from season 1. So
I'm super excited about the Pirate versus Firesa. It's the Australian down under matchup right there. Super cool. I know every Australian that wants to play definitely wants to be known as the best Australian player in the world. So
yeah,
it's such a I don't know, competitive little community that they got.
Yeah.
Like everyone wants the
All
title.
right, so you want to know what matches we're going to have here on the KFPL this week? Here they are, featured matches for the week. What we chose from Group C, we're going to want to watch Ugluk versus Sad Cry Bear. That is the one we have the priority on. And then we have 3 other matches with Group B, Corey Than versus Aviator. Group G, we want to see Raider make his debut versus Dammit, the runner-up from last season. And we want to see Group H as the supremacy in Australia is being fought for with
Heck yeah, we do.
Anxious Pirate and Fireza. I mean, since Phil is gone, like these two are it, right? Like they're the 2 big ones. So let's see what happens. Like it's gonna be interesting. But that is the features for the week. And if you wonder how hard it is to do streaming when Harlan's sitting on you, here he is. Say hi. There you
Hi,
are.
Harlan.
Hi. Oreos. Yeah, I know you want Oreos. All right, cool. So with that said, let me get to our next segment here. Z, so like, what do you think for this week? Like, what are we going to see? Get any bold predictions here?
From our features here, I am gonna predict. I'll predict the features. Why not? We haven't done any predictions. Go back to the thing.
I'll tell you who they are. I don't want to go back.
What? All right.
It's going to be Nathan versus Aviator. Who wins?
Nathan.
Nathan.
100%.
I'm going to go with Nathan as well. Sad Cry Bear versus Ugluk.
Ugluk.
I go with Ugluk as well. Raider versus Dammit 96.
I'm gonna go with the new person. I'm gonna go with the upset and say Raider takes down Dammit. Dammit's a great player. Seen him play a lot. Very clean lines. But I'm gonna go with Dammit here.
I'm going with you're going with Dammit? I'm going with Raider. Like
Oh,
Raider,
I'm sorry. I said all this stuff for Raider.
Yes,
Raider.
I know.
I'm gonna go with
But
Raider.
yeah, Raider's one of my picks for top 4. So he's like a guy that I see going pretty far. I hope I'm not putting too much pressure on him. And then we have Pirate versus Fireza.
This is the hard one. Like Fire. If I were just to pick up the decks on the deck lineup, I think I 100% pick Pirate. But I know Pirate is super nervous, right? Like,
Yes.
I don't know why. I don't know what's going on in the headspace, but like I was literally talking to him yesterday in an event we're playing it, and I know he is a little bit rattled. Like, you know what? Heck it. Like, screw it. I'm going to say Pirate figures out his nerves, gets the reps in, gets the focus, and takes down Fire. Let's go Pirate. Represent AC
Oh, you're
and UA.
I'm not. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not about to go against my guy that's playing like our team's best decks. I think so. But man, it's so hard to bet against Fireza though. Like he's such a good player.
It is. Like I know Fire is one of the best players in the world. So like, but still, like I'm gonna go with Pirate and say he figures out a way, finds the win con, finds that weak deck, manipulates the hell out of it, and gets the dub.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I don't know what you want, but happy. You're happy. I'm happy too.
All right.
So we're moving to our next stream. I know. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. We're gonna do our tracker segment now. So this is basically we're gonna have an intro for this next week. I was trying to get it together and like it crashed on me a couple times, but we're gonna have a more cool intro to this. But what we're talking about is basically we're talking about the matchup that happened between PM Kanasa and Sodafly. Sodafly? I don't know how you say it. Sodafly.
I just say Sodafly.
Yeah, it's not great. But what happened was these are the 2 decks that were basically brought to the table. The deck that is Olympia, Paladina, Del, and Trio is the deck that PM can. Wait, no, sorry, check that. That is the deck that Sodafly was on, and Jessamine Dente de Oro is the deck that PM Canasta was on. To give you guys like a preference. Like a preface of what was happening here was we were going into what ended up being the last 2 turns, and there was a huge like play that happened. So we're gonna discuss it here using the tracker. So Z, you want me to preface this and then kind of once we get moving, let you take over, or how do you want to do this?
I'll jump in when we can. Go ahead. You're the one that identified the line and picked it this week. Next week it might be me, so we'll see.
Okay, so here we go. So we're going all the way down. So this game was pretty back and forth for a long time. Okay, and so I would like to start it right here.
Yeah.
Right here. So this is the turn.
You're looking at 1 key to 1 key, 7 amber 1 key to basically just a key.
Yeah, to just a key, right? So basically they go into a turn, they go back and forth. PM Kanasa, like right here, is basically getting ready to start his turn. And so what happens is, like, with the amber being 7-1 here, he goes and he forges his blue key. So now he's up 2-1 in keys with 1 amber left over, right? And so then he plays a tarot. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger for you guys that are watching.
Pharaoh Centurion.
Yeah, I'm just making it bigger so you can see. So the Theros Centurion comes into play. So when it comes into play, it captures one of the 3 amber that was there, right? So there is 2 amber, or 1 amber, and only 2 left for his opponent. So then he plays tribute, and you see here that he takes the tribute and then he exalts the Therian. So he puts 4 amber onto the Therian, and then proceeds to exile it, gaining an amber from both. Don't forget the tribute and the exile, putting him at 3, right? And then pushing this other 4 over, and then he comes back and plays a sorry about that.
Sorry about that.
To kill the Theo Centurion and basically pull all that amber back to himself, and then he ends his turn by playing a golden spiral. So now he is up 2-1 a key count, going into a turn where 8 amber and for him and 1 amber for his opponent. Now let's take a look back at this deck. As you can see here, his deck is really low on amber control. Like, he has a grabber jammer, an interdimensional graft, which isn't going to do him any good here. So that's off the table. 2 pit demons, which aren't in play, so those are off the table. And you have a marauder. So for him to win, he has to basically craft a turn where he can get his opponent off check. And as you can see here, he's at 8. So
basically needs a Keyforge Mare. Like, that's like we that's what's going on here. So let's see what happens.
So here's what happens. I'll let Z drive from here. Go ahead.
All right. So you start in your turn. Scroll up a little bit. I see the hand. Can we see the hand?
Oh, the hand. The hand doesn't show because it's in the turn. So.
Oh, got it.
But what the board looks like basically is it looks exactly.
Oh yeah. So there it is. We can't actually see his hand. So we didn't know how many cards he started with, but okay. So we can go.
Yeah.
To the turn.
So we go to the turn. So what we do here is like we watch, and he obviously leads with library access because why not?
Yes. So he plays the mother, draws a card. Plays another mother, draws a card. Plays graph for the pip, draw a card. And yeah, at this point, we don't know how many of these he draw, but here's where the big swings start to come. Plays Wild Wormhole, basically gets him 2 cards. Plays Fogify, draws a card. Plays Graft again, draws a card. Plays Wild Wormhole, draws 2 cards. And yes, someone should be using Tracker. Scroll down some more. Plays the Soft Landing, which was an interesting thing. The Soft Landing is played off the Wormhole, draws a card. Plays Help, draws a card. Shuffles everything, plays Time Travel, draws 3 cards. Here's the third Wild Wormhole to play. What does it end up playing?
The second Time Traveler.
Oh, so unfortunately it played a Time Traveler, so he ends up drawing, 4 cards off of that play.
Yeah.
Graft came back to hand, draws a card. Wormhole plays Fear, draws 2 cards. Fogify, Lab Work, Phase Shift. So here's the big thing. Phase Shift.
This is where it starts.
Battle Fleet, which in this case... He ends up drawing a total of 8 cards off of that.
Yeah, 7.
And lands the Grabber Jammer off of the first phase shift he played. Oh, no, the second phase shift.
Yeah. So
then Graft. Then phase shifts again, and here's where it happens. Then he lands the Marauder, which is literally the only sequence of events that would allow him to keep his opponent off of key. Because the Marauder comes down, captures 3... Grabber Jammer's forcing his key off to 7.
It captured 2.
Well, no, because he already had 2 Martians in play. It should have captured 3.
No, because one of them was tapped.
Oh, well, I guess it was... Okay. Oh, yeah, because the Grabber Jammer was...
Played tapped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, Phase Shift, Control the Weak. Pretty much ends the game.
And this is where he locks down. And when the sequence goes... Because from here he goes basically Phase Shift, Poltergeist, Graft... Phase Shift, Poltergeist, and there's a concession. But
yeah, more stuff happens after this, but he won as soon as the Control the Weak was played. So, like, when I say it needed a Keyforge miracle, what had to happen is he had to be able to get into both the Phase Shifts had to line up with the Grabber Jammer and the Marauder and the Control the Weak. All of that stuff if all of that stuff does not line up perfectly like that, you don't win the game.
Yeah, so this is the tracker talk, and for you newer players that are out there that don't know what this is basically a program that Grant built a while ago. You can get it as a extension on Google if you're playing on Chrome, and it basically does exactly what it says. It tracks, and like this is really cool for doing like homework on games and looking at things. And if you're trying to be a
And
better
when I said I
player,
was looking for his hand, had both players been using the tracker, we would be able to see
both
Knessa's
sides.
hand.
Yeah.
So Knessa was not using the tracker during this game. That is why we only see the hand.
It was actually Sodafly. So Knessa was using it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So like yeah.
Got it.
But this helps us like kind of go back and look at things and see what happened. So this week we showed you on Tracker that like you can use it to basically do research in lines and see what happens and how people did something. So if like let's say you're playing on Crucible against somebody and you have Tracker and they just like wipe you out with some kind of cool long streak like this, it's good to go back and review it and stuff like that. So it's pretty crazy. And the recurring call of the week, like once he hit or hit the control of the week, it was game over because when I counted the amber from this, I think he made 17 amber on that turn. So he had tons of amber. He was putting them back in a house that he had no chance to do anything with because the tribute was gone because he put him back in Sorian with control of the week. And then basically all he really had to do was cycle his whole deck again and put you back in Sorian and he wins. And his opponent Kanasa saw that, so he just saved himself some time. So that
well, because he was in a drawing, like most of his hand was in his deck at that point, so even though he just played Control of the Week, more than likely he was going to draw it back.
Yeah,
I mean, so his following turn, he could have called Disc, put him back in Soaring or whatever, ended up putting him in.
Yeah, because he was already cycling it with the phase shifts and the poltergeist just to get more cards back. So yeah, this is a lethal. Like this is the kind of loops that happened in Coda, and this is like a good example of Time Traveler and Library Access and how busted it can be. So for you new people, like it's pretty just good. And the phase shift is what makes this like yeah. So the phase shift is what makes it crazy good, as Dave is talking in chat about, and this is Coda. What Coda was, it was very the combos were very lethal, and this is why Library Access got its nerf, and why it basically gets taken out of the game. Because back in the day, we were able to basically loop that Library Access 6 times, so every card you play, you're drawing like 6 cards. Like that's nuts, right? So that was part of the evolution of the game. That's another reason I wanted to highlight this, is because it shows you that even with the nerf, Library Access is still deadly. Like it's crazy
yes,
good.
It's still a really good card.
So yeah, it's absolutely insane. So that's about all I got for this week in the KFPL news. Do you have anything that we want to put out about an upcoming event?
No, at this point, I'm still gathering data. People are filling out a form. I'm going to close that form tonight, and then next recap, we'll talk about our March 20th event. By then, I'll probably have already put out a release for it in the Discord. But yeah, March 20th is the date for our first event. That will be the first event people can earn their spot in the KFPL Season 3. So looking forward to people earning those. But yeah.
Yeah.
We did add some stats to our main document page or whatever. One of the most interesting things that I would like to point out, other than people can go there and see them.
I'll bring it up real quick. So.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, I can bring it up. This is
the most interesting thing to me was actually in the set selections.
There you
click
go.
on the stats, the fourth row there. 98% of players chose a Worlds Collide as one of their 3 decks. So almost every person, 55 out of 56 people, chose one of their 3 decks to be a Worlds Collide. Is the highest percentage significantly over the other options. I knew it was going to be high. This data was actually pretty much what I expected based on our events. But it being like almost a sweep, like as I was collecting the data, I really did think for a moment it was just going to be a complete, like everyone has a Worlds Collide deck, and it'd be like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. So the stats, our statistician Muffins is in the chat. She said Vince T is the only one who didn't pick a Worlds Collide.
The lone Worlds Collide ban from the Triad, and the other stuff is pretty much straightforward. I'll add some more stuff to this as we get through it, but obviously Brobnar is Brobnar. 5% of decks have Brobnar.
And one of them is mine. Inca is there. Got banned, didn't even get to play.
And it got banned too, so that's actually really good. I know one's Inca, one's Caruso. Most of the Brobnar decks, one's Sasha. So most of the Brobnar decks that actually made our event are famous.
Yeah.
So
I'm guessing any Brobnar deck that made it is probably like either combo-y, something combo-y like with Grunt Buggy, or it's like
and one of these is Colton, so that has I think the most OP wins or second most, something like that. So yeah, most of the Brobnar decks that are making it into the league definitely have history behind them.
Yeah, somebody said how many Brobnar worlds collide? I'm gonna guess 0. Like,
Well, no, it can't
no,
be
there's
0.
one. There's
Caruso.
one. Oh, Crusoe. Yeah, I forgot. Dave got.
There is Brobnar actually in that set.
Yeah, well, kinda. Is it really there? I mean, it ends up in an archive out of the way. It's never gonna get played, but yeah.
But yeah, and then the most common was a little bit surprised to me too. Like I love logos. Most people like do enjoy playing with the faster stuff.
Yeah.
But normally Dis is more represented in the actual meta. But in our event, logos took 68% of decks have logos, 63% have Dis. So that was a little bit of a surprise. But the rest of the stuff pretty much falls in line with exactly what we expect.
Yeah, so the Final Swindle has an event coming up in 15 minutes. I'm playing in it. I'm going to come back live and stream it as I play through it. So I'm gonna take a break for that real quick, get something to drink and stuff, and then come back and restream as I set my timer to 5-minute delay. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this weekly. It was kind of fun to put together. Still in the works as far as like the graphics and how we want to get everything, but there's a lot of stuff to update every week. So we're trying to make it as easy as possible. Hopefully the layout wasn't too sick for you guys. It wasn't too hard to see things and stuff. But any feedback is always welcome as we push forward with the event and continue to try to just up our game, right? Like the energy that you guys have been showing us is the energy we want to reciprocate back to you. And I'm having fun this season, like a lot of fun this season. Like first season was straight stress for me, and like I think that's just because of the school and like all the handicap, like the things I got bottled into. This season we're able to do whatever we want. So I also want to thank a new art advisor that's come onto our group, and that's going to be helping us out. But Ollie C, Mr. Cornish, is going to be joining our team for helping us with some of our art and trying to get some cool like original ideas and things done. And so you're going to see some stuff from him. If you don't know who he is, go check out Archon Altars on Twitch. He's doing a series right now on painting the sins. That is fantastic. He was featured on Burn the Stockpiles this week on our YouTube channel. Go get to know Ollie. He's going to be around, and he's awesome. He's like made me want to do more painting and stuff as well. So let's go check him out, get to know him, and hopefully you'll see some of his stuff around, and maybe some goodies will come out of that for you. But that's all I think I could think of right now. I think we've covered everything now. Kept it nice and short-ish. What do you think?
Have a great week, guys. If you're playing the events, get them scheduled. I'll be reaching out, setting up groups for the ones that will be casted. And yeah, you'll have more information about our March event coming up next week. I need to double check, but we might have some surprise support for it, in addition to our normal cash prize house.
Yeah,
and
so
the KFPL season 3 slots.
So if Sheep said he missed the pairings, if you look on your if you go in, round 2 opponent will be the one closest to your scores. So you'll be right in there. Where are you at, Sheep? There you are, right there. Sheep is playing against Vafs. So
Vafs, yep.
So there you go.
All right, good luck in your games this week. Forward some keys. And I think this is KFPL signing out. See you next week.
Yeah, we'll catch you on the flip side.
Kidding.